The Pittsburgh Steelers head into the bye week 3-2, atop of the AFC North. Things haven't been perfect, but in the grand scheme of things, if you were going to head into a bye week and try to fix things and really just look at who the Pittsburgh Steelers are as a whole and what they are capable of doing, this is probably as good as it gets for this team right now. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk and subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. Today, we're talking about the feel of the Pittsburgh Steelers and why the optimism, well, it should still be high. Even if you are not a believer in Matt Canada and the struggles that the Pittsburgh Steelers have shown thus far, and even if you are not a believer maybe in the offensive line or some parts of the defense or Kenny Pickett, there are reasons to feel like, well, we're still in this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are very much so still a team that can do very good things and go much further than maybe their low points dictate. The Pittsburgh Steelers today gave me the vibe, talking to Calvin Austin, Deontay Johnson, Kenny Pickett, and others, that last week wasn't anything special. It wasn't a momentum builder. It wasn't a spark. It wasn't something that you could latch onto and say, hey, look, we could carry this as far as we need to carry it. Their win over the Baltimore Ravens was simply that, a win over the Baltimore Ravens, and a place or a victory that puts them in place to carry the second half of their season with their own hands. In other words, they right now control their fate in the AFC North. They hold a playoff spot. If the season ended today, they're third in the AFC. They're atop the AFC North. They'd face the Baltimore Ravens. And, well, if you're going to face anybody in the playoffs, facing your divisional opponent is as good as it gets, especially a team that the Pittsburgh Steelers have held the upper hand to for quite some time. It's a great place to be, but there are building blocks, and that is the thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers will come back from their bye week, week 7, against the Los Angeles Rams, a team that looks good, but is as hit as miss as most teams in the NFL right now. On top of that, Pittsburgh gets Deontay Johnson back, who said, hell yeah, he's coming back from injury against the LA Rams. He'll be back on Monday. Cannot wait to get back on the field. He's been in the building, which is huge. There is no adjustment period. There is no nothing. He has watched every practice. He has rehabbed as hard as possible. He has worked with Calvin Austin and George Pickens and Allen Robinson and Kenny Pickett and whoever else to make sure that when he does come back, this is a smooth train and he could just jump on it and it could keep rolling. You expect Deontay Johnson back. You expect Anthony McFarland, back. That is a huge name, very under the radar, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have not been able to find a kick returner since he left. He looked like, he was a spark plug. He was a guy that in week 1 was probably your best player. In week 2, still looked like a phenomenal player. Then ended up on IR. Bad move. Sucks. Hate to see it. If he's coming back, that's a huge boost for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Phenomenal moves. You're gearing up for Cam Hayward to make a return week 8, week 9, week 10, hopefully somewhere around there. Pat Freiermuth is a week, maybe 2 weeks away from being back on the field. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're healthy. They are the healthiest they've been since week 1. They're a team that somehow, even if they haven't been playing their best ball, and they have not been, are walking back into football after the bye week with a essentially brand new team, a much better team with a lead in the division and a winning record. That's not bad.
Having Deontay, and then what kind of boost could that be if he's available against the Rams?
Obviously, he's a really talented guy, and we missed him a lot. He helps move the chains. He gets great separation. He's been a great teammate and leader in that room as well, and helping guys out. So, getting him back is going to be massive for our offense. And I think just by watching this, you can see that we've missed him, and I think it'll help George out. It'll help Allen and Cal, and kind of those guys have been really working hard and playing a lot of snaps. So I think it'll be great for us as a whole to get 18 back.
How much has the relationship between you and George grown, I guess, just in the last few weeks, and how much ceiling is left there?
I think there's a lot left because he's continuing to grow his route tree. We're getting the ball in different situations, but obviously down the grass is where he's been excelling. So I think that relationship continues to grow. It never stops. We're always going to be pushing to be, a great duo in this league for a long time.
Timeline.
Hell yeah, I'm coming back. I've been working my behind off these last 3-4 weeks. I'm say so. Today was one of the days to see like how far I done came along. So everything looked great out there to them, and I feel completely great and healthy. So I say I'm ready for Monday when we come back to start getting back to work.
You be consistently producing, consistently moving the ball down the field.
Obviously, we leaking a little bit on the offense. Offensive line got a couple of guys down, receivers, tight ends. That plays a big role in everything because when the quarterback don't have his guys, he's gonna be holding the ball a little longer. He's not really, not saying he's not used to playing with the backup guys or whatever, but it's different for him. So he's not really familiar where they're gonna be at as opposed to knowing where his one's gonna be at out there. So I feel like when I get back, the rest of the guys get back, I feel like things gonna be fine. We're gonna be able to pick back up the speed. Just with me being out there, specifically, just giving that presence of more route running ability out there, getting open, creating the separation. You know what I'm saying? Just being another weapon out there for Kenny, and not just take some of the pressure off GP and the rest of the guys. Allow us to have them one-on-one matchups out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much does it help George with you back out there? The two of you, you haven't really been able to be on the field at the same time, healthy this year.
A lot. It takes a lot of pressure off him, and it opens up the field more. Allows us to play more freely because you can't double everybody on the field. Once you have me, AR, and Pat and GP out there at the same time, it's like you guessing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that gives them more ability to just do what they do and not worry about if they're gonna double me, this player here and there. But like I said, just play freely out there.
But the big point is this. We just heard from Kenny Pickett. We just heard from Deontay Johnson. Both of them are ecstatic to get back on the field and to have DJ back on the field. But what Calvin Austin told me is probably the most significant thing. He said that, yes, the season is long. This is not a one-game sample size. It is why they can't use their win against the Baltimore Ravens or a game-winning drive against the Baltimore Ravens as a spark plug or a momentum builder or anything. They just have to look at it and say, that was a game. There are many more of them. We have to play them. But that's it. The season is long. This is not a one-hole golf course. There are 18 holes, and we're only through 5 of them. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, typically they get better by the 18th. That's what Mike Tomlin specializes in. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers under Mike Tomlin specialize in. This team always improves. And yeah, maybe your expectations shouldn't be Super Bowl right now. Maybe don't be too optimistic. Keep a level head. Keep a logical head. But don't be pessimistic. Don't sit around and say there's nothing to build off of here. Don't sit around and say this team is screwed and they can't get any better and the Pittsburgh Steelers are done, because they're not. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that struggled, that has not played good football consistently, that as a whole could definitely get better. But they're getting healthy. They're about to get a huge piece to the puzzle back in Deontay Johnson, a huge piece to the puzzle. He not only makes George Pickens better, but he makes Kenny Pickett's life 100 times easier. Anthony McFarland means your special teams gets a boost. Pat Freiermuth is Pat Freiermuth, and Cam Hayward, man, that's Cam Hayward. That's as big as it gets. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to build. They're going to grow. You're going to see more of what Kenny did against the Ravens late. You're going to see more of Joey Porter Jr. You're going to see more of the inside linebackers clicking and being able to work together, and Quan Alexander making plays. You're going to see more of everything. The Pittsburgh Steelers are here, and maybe they should have been here by now, but by the end of the season, they got an opportunity to be here. And compared to a year ago when you were 2-6 and you were looking at an awful fate and you had to climb out of every and the deepest holes you could possibly imagine. I mean, to go into the bye week 3-2, 2-0 in the AFC North, yeah, it doesn't look terrible, and it certainly doesn't look good on the field. But in the grand scheme of things, the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are a playoff team. And if that's what you're going to build off of, that's a pretty good launching point.